Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Friday, May 3rd, 2019. Start off with a little bit of review and then get into today's 4 playoff games. So in the NBA, looks like we got some breaking news. Suns hire 76ers assistant Williams as coach. Have to think about that. Just never know what might be a big clue. But anyway, speaking of the 76ers, yesterday we favored them to win the game. It was Brett Brown's 76th day of his age, the coach of the 76ers. Even the Raptors coach had a lot of things pointing Philadelphia. We saw that Brett Brown could become 11-7 in the playoffs against the Raptors. Toronto equals 117. The series began on the 117th day of the year. Also, Kawhi Leonard, the star player of the Raptors, it was 307 days after his birthday this game, the 63rd prime, and the Raptors stayed at 63 total wins on the season. Philadelphia is now up 2-1 in the series. Another thing we noticed is typing out the game. 2 days ago with Denver, we pointed out that Game 2 equaled 105. Denver could pick up their 105th playoff loss. Game 3 had the 44 connection. I believe it was that the 76ers got their 44th win against the Raptors all time. And we also talked about how Game 3 equals 161, kind of like phi, the golden ratio, 1.61. So remember that for Game 3s if Philadelphia advances. Could be something about Philadelphia in Game 3. Phi is PHI, like how Philadelphia is abbreviated PHI on the screen. So 21-point win to go up 2-1. And then in the NHL yesterday, we split them yesterday. Looking for that flawless day, not quite. 2 out of 3. Not bad, but we want that perfection. So we talked about the Sharks getting the 19th away loss on the 19-date numerology. They did. They were able to avoid that in Game 3. We pointed out before Game 3 and Game 4 both happened to fall on 19-date numerologies. Sharks were destined to get their 19th away loss in one of those 2 games. Came in the second one. And the Bruins and Blue Jackets, it was the Bruins goalie. He could have picked up his 19th career, I believe it was, playoff loss all time. He did not. We were thinking Columbus could even the wins for the season at 54-54. Columbus, Ohio, 54. That didn't happen. There was a lesser date new. Oh, I know. One of the concerns for the Blue Jackets yesterday was that they were at 8 wins at home against the Bruins. 19's the 8th prime. They had a possibility of staying on those 8 home wins on the 19 date. So it seemed that came through. And their goalie was going for his 26th loss, possibly in the playoffs for his career, on the lesser date numerology of 26. And that happened as well. And again, the Blue Jacket, this series is really curious, especially with that sinking story of the La Nina, the Christopher Columbus replica boat. So anyhow, it's going back to Boston 2-2. Boston does equal 22. It also equals 31. So both series tied up. Let's something I forgot to do, and I apologize yesterday, was scan the baseball games. We can do that real quick too, just see if anything jumped out. You can still look back and see if anything's screaming out about these records after yesterday. I noticed the Reds can do the prime number thing in their next game. 13, the 6th prime. That's for their away games. Something to keep an eye on. Padres would have to win 2 away to do that. Astros and Twins. Twins did it. There's the prime number thing. 11, the 5th prime. So the Brewers, if they can win their next home game, they'll be 11-8. Wisconsin's 118. Remember in the basketball series between the Wisconsin team, the Bucks, and the Celtics, the series began on the 118th day of the year. Celtics also 118. see. If the Rays lose their next game away, they do the prime number thing, 11-5. We've seen a lot of that 11-5. Red Sox would have to lose 2 more away for the prime thing. Okay, so it's mostly the prime numbers that are screaming out possible prime number hits. Let's see. Scan it today too. Twins are at that 8-5 away record. Again, Twins equals 85. We've seen them hit that a number of times this year. Today's games are going to be on 47 and 20 date numerology, lesser numerology at 27. The date numerology thing was hit and miss the other day. Actually, let me just scan that real quick too, because yesterday had the 19 date. So see if there was any teams that could have got a 19. So like the Astros, well, either one of these teams could have got the 19. The Twins got it. That would have been tough. Rays came in with 19, advanced off it. The Red Sox, couldn't have got it. All right, so anyhow, today's got the 20 date numerology. Date numerology has not been real consistent in baseball. Not that a lot of things have, but today, May 3rd, we'll have the 20 date, so something to keep an eye on. Twins with a win would get to 20 wins. Cardinals could stay on 20. Athletics could pick up the 20th loss. However, that contradicts right here the prime number thing. If the Athletics win, they'd have the prime number relationship going in their away record. So the primes have been more consistent than the date numerology. Rays could stay on 20 wins and do the prime number thing. They'd be 11-5 away, 11 the fifth prime. Mariners still seeking that 19th win. They lost today, they'd be 11-5, the prime thing. Plus, this is the year of the 115th World Series. More reason to believe in that 11-5. Remember, Cleveland Indians is 67, the 19th prime. The Indians swept the Mariners at home earlier this year. The Mariners were dominating the league until that Indian series. I do suspect the Mariners will finish with 97 wins this year. That's my projection for that. Again, Mariners is 97. Their season open with that giant 97 ritual. Marlins can do the 6-13 thing, 13 the sixth prime. There's a prime number possibility. So let's see. I didn't skip any 20s, did I? Rangers would have to win 3 in a row at home to do the prime thing. Red Sox would have to lose 2. We said that. If the Mets drop 2 to the Brewers, they'd be 9-9. Remember, Brewers is 99. There was a riddle that came a game away from that 9-9 riddle earlier this year with the Brewers, but still keeping in mind that is a Brewers number if the Mets drop 2. And the 11-8 would make a little bit of sense because, again, Wisconsin's 118. Diamondbacks would have to win 2 to do the prime thing. Dodgers. Padres is 99, right? Padres 99. Pretty sure that's the case. Just saw a 99 riddle with the Padres. Maybe the Braves series. But if Dodgers won, they would be 9-9 against the Padres. They're 8-9 right now. Los Angeles has that 89 connection. So, see something. San Diego Padres is also 79. I thought so. So if the Padres drop, they'd be 7-9, and the Dodgers would be 9-9. So these are things I'm keeping an eye on. Still trying to build back up that confidence with baseball after we had that stretch of about 10 days where things just were not making any sense. It's like the Twilight Zone. All right. Let's get into today's games. So we got the Bucks at the Celtics, and I got a lot of notes here, but I also just want to measure from the star players too, because that's seeming to be paying some dividends here in the playoffs. Let's take a call first. Caller?
Before we get into basketball, I just wanted to touch on one game, the early game today, baseball. Cardinals over Cubs is what I'm thinking. So it's more of a lean. St. Louis is 115, 74, 47. Today's 47-day numerology. They can improve to 11-5. STL at CSC, just the abbreviation for the game, is 65, 20, 97.
Wait, help me out real quick. What was the 11-5 record for today's game?
It would be day game, sorry.
Oh, day games. Got it.
Yeah, I must have misspoke. So the abbreviation, though, that's 65, 20, 97. They can improve to 97 away. Jack Flaherty, he's 120. He improved to 12-12. The opposing pitcher, Kyle Hendricks, is 144, 12 squared. The Cubs could fall to 16-13, like 63. I've noticed this in other games. There was a Red Sox game not too long ago, and other ones where it was like the 12-17 or 17-12, things like that, where they just remove the ones and they apply it to the other gematria or day numerology values.
Okay, that's interesting. I'll keep
it's just a heuristic. It's not like certain, but I think there's something there.
Sure.
But if they do lose 3 straight, they'd go to 16-15, like the 65 of the abbreviation for the game, or the series, rather. And then if they won all 3, because the series is only just these 3 games, the Cardinals would improve to 11-17 away, and Illinois is 117. And Friday is 63-36. Kyle Hendricks is 63, and Cardinals is 36-63. So it just seems today is more of a day for the Cardinals.
Okay. Oh, something else I just seen that Cardinals record on the surface is if they did win, they'd be 9-7 away. That's kind of like 97, the 25th prime, and St. Louis is 25 as well. So.
Yeah, but I think there is something to these the records when you take away the ones.
Sure.
And you just focus on all the other numbers.
Sure, that's interesting. I've never done that before, but I'll keep an eye on that.
All right, I just wanted to point that out. I mean, there's another one with the Twins and Yankees where they can get the 20th win on a twin day numerology, and they can go, or they could stay at 8-5 away, or go to 8-5. I have to double check, but that one seems an iffy one, because the Yankees could fall to 17-14, like the 47 reflectors. So that's another one of those cases where it could go with the record with the ones and still have the day numerology kind of encoded into it.
I see.
And also, if you notice the Red Sox game last night, the score ended 4-6. The day numerology was 46.
Right.
So they do this a lot. I feel like in the score more so with the day numerology.
Oh, absolutely. Because I remember in the stretch where the games weren't gone, we'd say, well, the games aren't turning out the way we expect, but look at that score. There's the number in the score. There's the number in the score. So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the most obvious one was the Giants playing the Toronto Blue Jays when it was Clay Buchholz pitching, and the score ended like 4-0. The Giants had 4 runs, 7 hits. The day numerology at the time was 40, 47, 20, and 22. The 3rd and 4th inning, they scored 1 run. 5th inning, they got 2 runs. So there's your like 11-2 or 22 almost.
Right.
And then with the score 4-0, there's your 4-0. The 4 runs, 7 hits, there's your 47. And then, I mean, the other number that was for the day was 67. But, I mean, it's sort of a stretch, but you could take the 4 runs and 2 hits by the Blue Jays together, and that'd be your 6, and then you have your 7. So, I mean, it's stretches there, but it's crazy how they put all of the day numerology into the score if they do the score based upon day numerology.
Right.
And it was a similar thing last night with the error in the game for the Red Sox. that error fits into how things are working out. I had to find my notes, but it's just something that you should look into more.
Sure.
All right, that's all I got.
All right, great observations. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, bye. Okie dokie. So let's get into today's games. We got 2 in the NBA and 2 in the NHL. The first game in the NBA is the Bucks at the Celtics. And let me make this bigger again so everyone can see what I'm talking about. So I'm not just reading print that's so small it hurts your eyes. Okay, I think that should be good. Boston is a 2-point favorite at home. This series is tied 1-1. These teams split. The Bucks took the game 2. Remember that first game 1 was on the 118th day of the year. Celtics 118, Wisconsin 118, John Havlicek 118. Big number this year in sports. So Boston can take control of the series with a win today, giving themselves a big edge at least. Today's date, May 3rd, 5-3. Interesting numbers. Milwaukee does have the Gematria 53. 53 has been a big number in Boston-related sports this year. Of course, the Patriots won Super Bowl 53. Patriots equals 53. Red Sox equals 53. They face Los Angeles 53 in the World Series. Technically, that was last year, but it's still all within the last year. And right now, you got the Bruins series against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Columbus Blue Jackets 53. So pay extra careful attention to today, May 3rd. Will we see a team with 53 points at halftime? It's been the number of the year for Boston sports. Anyhow, today, 47-date numerology. That's the 15th prime number. 20-date numerology as well. And the lesser method's 27, but this lesser method is always more important, again, at the beginning of the month when you're in the single-digit days. And that's because you have one less date numerology method to work with. So it's the 123rd day of the year, leaving 242 days remaining. Celtics are 371 and 279 in the playoffs all time. The Bucks are 116 and 131. We asked last game, would they return to Boston at 131 playoff losses? Because that's the 32nd prime, and Boston equals 32. So here they are. Notice if they get 2 more wins in the series, they'd be at 118. Very possible that happens. We've been talking about how a lot lines up for a Game 7 for this series because of the date numerology of Game 7. And if the Bucks did lose the series, they'd finish at 118 wins. Again, Celtics 118, John Havlicek 118, Wisconsin 118. Patriots also 118. Columbus Blue Jackets also 118. So interesting how both Boston teams in the playoffs, NHL and NBA, are facing teams right now with that 118 connection. The Celtics are 54 and 34 on the season. One thing I could see going against them today is the date, May 3rd, or 5/3, or 3/5. One thing that could go against them. 3/5 is kind of like 35. Remember, Boston, Massachusetts equals 55. So the next win is number 55. The Bucks are 65 and 23 on the season. The Celtics are 30. Let me check something real quick. Excuse me 1 minute. Okay. The Celtics are 30 and 13 at home, meaning the next win would make them 31 and 13. Boston has that connection to 22 and 31. The Bucks are 29 and 14 away. That means they could pick up their 15th away loss today on the 47 date numerology. Again, 47, the 15th prime. So far out of all the stats we've looked at, I think that's the most important one. This one's the most concerning for Boston so far, but this is the stat, prime numbers. Big in this study. That's the one that stands out the most so far. The Bucks are 119 and 130 against the Celtics. Remember, they also came into this series on 118 wins. Another clue with that 118. If they lost today or the next game, I'm thinking these teams are going to split possibly in Boston because, again, I have a feeling this is going game 7, so it might be a back-and-forth battle. But that next loss against the Celtics is 131, the 32nd prime, Boston 32. The Bucks are 45 and 82 at Boston all time. So next win's 46, next loss is 83. Doesn't go with today's date. The Bucks are 15 and 21 against the Celtics in the playoffs. Now, if they didn't win today, they'd stay at 15 on the 47 date. And they'd pick up their 22nd loss. Boston's 22. So, but as I say that, there's one thing I was overlooking here. It's coming through now. May 3rd, 5-3, 53, the 16th prime. So could make a little bit of an argument for picking up the 16th playoff win on May 3rd. Brad Stevens is 27 and 26 in the playoffs. Now, we do have the lesser 27 date, but I don't like to lead with the coach's record. It's just like how game 1, everything lined up for Boston except for Brad Stevens' record. Had he lost in game 1, he would have been 26 and 26 in the playoffs on a 26 date. They didn't lose, though. He became 27 and 25, and Boston scored 26 points in the first quarter and in the second quarter. So still good to look at it, but Brad Stevens, he come in 27. 27 is possible, but it's not the stat of stats here to look at. The Bucks coach, he's 22 and 23 in the playoffs. Again, Boston's 22. So the next game, which would be May 6th in Boston, this game will have a lesser date numerology of 30, and what stands out about that is the Bucks could get their 30th away win in that game. There's always the possibility that they could get it today and go into this game on 30. If that was the case, I'd be thinking the Celtics would be taking this game. But to me, just looking at today's game, it looks like the Celtics have a little bit better riddle, and that comes back to the 47s and the 15s. The Bucks getting the 15th away loss on this date makes sense. Staying at 15 playoff wins would fit into that 15-47 thing. And the fact that the next game's on this 30 date and they can get that 30th away win there. So that's making a bit of sense. And you see how the date has 23 numerology as well. The Bucks coach, his next win in the playoffs is 23. So if the Bucks won this game, those riddles would tie in together nicely. So Celtics take it today. Bucks May 6th. And as I'm saying this out loud, does Bucks have a 56 connection too? It does. So Bucks has a 56 connection as well. Okay. It's funny how when I talk out loud, things come back to my memory that just aren't there when I'm doing this stuff silently. Anyway. So then the other thing, just looking down the road ahead, we talked about this. The May 8th game, game 5 back in Milwaukee. That's going to be on a 25 date because the Celtics split the first two in Milwaukee. They can now pick up their 25th away win against Milwaukee in that game. So it's looking like the Celtics very well will take game 5. And that's part of the reason I don't think they'll sweep in Boston, because if they did, they'd win the series right here. And this series really does have the look of a game 7. So splitting in Boston, Celtics going up 3-2 in game 5. we'd have to look extra careful at Game 6 just to make sure. But just these numbers right here. The 57. If the Celtics win the series, they'd get their 57th win of the season on a 57 date. It also has lesser numerology of 37. Milwaukee's 37. Just seems like if the Celtics got beat in the series, they would pick up their 37th loss. That would surprise me a bit, though. So, especially with the death of John Havlicek. We did talk about the heart attack of Danny Ainge last year and how the last time he had a heart attack, the Celtics did lose in this round of the division, or this round of the playoffs, and the team they lost to is the team that went on to represent in the NBA Finals. If the Bucks did get past the Celtics, they would become my team in the East, and I would still like them to face the Warriors because the Warriors also have a riddle with the Bucks in recent NBA history. Remember, the record winning streak was snapped by the Bucks, just like the Bucks snapped the Lakers' record winning streak years ago, back in the Jerry West days. So the reason we picked the Warriors and Celtics before the season began for the NBA Finals again is because Game 1 is on a date with 54 and 74 numerology, May 30th, 2019. Oakland, California equals 74. And with regards to the 54, Oracle equals 54, and the Celtics snapped the winning streak of the Warriors at 54 games, that record streak. So we were looking at the historical relationship between those two teams and what the date showed. And that was the thought. It's still the thought, but if the Celtics did not get past this series, I would have to assume it would be Warriors and Bucks. So, okay. But I do think the Celtics have a slightly better riddle today. Let's also just measure from the star player's birthday. So Kyrie Irving, I think his birthday is March 23rd. March 23rd, that's right. He's 27 years old. Hold on, we got a call here. Caller?
Hey, what's up, Zach?
What's up?
Okay, so I just wanted to call you back and let you know about something I observed since you were talking about it. If you go back to the 2016 NBA Finals, where King James came back,
right?
Game 7 was on June 19th,
right?
Which was Father's Day that year, and this year, if the Warriors and the Rockets go to Game 7 in that series, it will be played on March 12th, which is Mother's Day.
Oh,
and
yes. Steph Curry's mother, Sonia.
Is his agent.
Oh, say it again.
James Harden's mother is his agent.
Oh, okay, that's very interesting. And Steph Curry's mother on Mother's Day was a big riddle. Maybe it was I can't remember if it was a year or 2 years ago now. I know his mother's name's Sonia, though. Sonia Curry.
Yeah. I remember that also. And also something else, May 12th, Game 7 is 5 months and 12 days from the day George Bush died.
5 months and 12 days. Well, where are you going with that? 5/12. Help me out with that.
Oh, it's just the date of the Game 7.
Oh, yeah. 5/12. It's the date. I get it. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So, and if you write revenge in the Gematria, it equals 32 in reverse for reduction. So does Harden and so does Curry. So I think the King James riddle of the 3-1 is actually going to happen. I think the Rockets are going to take the next game. Then the Warriors will take the game after that to go up 3-1. And then Harden is going to possibly do the comeback.
Okay. I'll have to look at that. I'll have to look at it.
Yeah, so I just wanted to let you know. But that's all I got so far. I was hoping maybe you could go a little bit further than that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look at that. That's a good observation. It's Mother's Day because there's been riddles with the Mother's Day in the playoffs for several years in recent memory. I'm going to have to go back and look at them all. I remember there was one with Curry's mom, LeBron's mom. So, yeah.
I found that really, really interesting.
All right. Yeah, I appreciate it.
All right. And also, Kevin Durant, the day that he lost to the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals in that year, in 2016, was 5/30, which is May 30th, and that's also going to be the start date of the NBA Finals this year, 5/30/2019.
Say that again. He lost on 5/30 in the Western Conference Finals?
Yeah, that's when OKC had the 3-1 lead on the Warriors, and the Warriors came back.
Oh, right. Okay, got it.
All right.
All right. Good work. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, so I was just going to look at the star players tonight. So Kyrie Irving, I think he's the star player of the Celtics. From his birthday to tonight's game is 41 days, or a span of 42. 5 weeks and 6 days, Bucks 56. I'm not sure how that connects to tonight's numbers. I might have forgot to measure from the coaches' birthdays in my notes. I'll do that too. Caller?
Hey, Zach, it's Rob in Vegas.
Hey, man.
Hey, on that Celtics game, if you do Danny Ainge's birthday to today, it's 47 days.
47 days. Okay, 47. And hey, by the way, Danny Ainge wore 44, I noticed as well.
Right, and I was just about to bring that up too. So TD Garden is 44.
Okay.
So you have a 37 for TD Garden as well. And you have all the tie-in from Danny Ainge just yesterday. So
okay.
His first title that Danny Ainge won as a GM was 11 years ago. And so he's got 2 titles as a player, 1 as a GM. Today could look like 2-1 after the series is done. The playoff series totals right now for Milwaukee and Boston. Milwaukee 1, Boston 5, another 1-5. So, and Boston's got 14 home wins against Milwaukee.
Well, what were you just saying with the 1-5? How was that?
Playoff series. Boston has 5 playoff series wins, or series total wins against 1 series win against Milwaukee.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see what you're saying.
So it looks like 1-5 again. So.
Okay, I got
so,
you.
yeah, but Boston could get their 15th home win today.
Yeah, I'm digging the 47-15 thing, and that's a good observation on Danny Ainge.
Yeah. And then one other thing I saw too, you were saying lesser date numerology. So if you add 5 + 3, you get 8. And then on 4/25, that was when Havlicek died, right? So that was 8 days ago.
Okay. Okay, that's a good observation.
So that could also be another tie-in with that 5-3, 53, whatever.
Sure. Sure.
And then I think you mentioned it with Boston. If they win again today, that would be in the series. That would be 22 wins for them. And then the line on the game is over/under is 220. So.
Okay. All right. Yep. Very good.
And you dropping a video on the Kentucky Derby, or what's going on with that?
Yep, that's today, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 Eastern.
All right, cool.
Yep. That'll be a live stream. All right. Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Okay. All right. But yeah, I was looking here at the coach. Let's see. October 22nd, 2018. 193 days after his birthday, the 44th prime. We just saw the 44 ritual of Danny Ainge, TD Garden 44, so that's interesting. Stevens. Okay. And let me just plug Danny Ainge in here so we can see that it is 47 days from his birthday, March 17th. Oops, wrong year. There it is, another 47. How about it? And the coach of the Bucks, I can't spell his name, Mike something. Boot. There we go. Let's see. August 6th. $270 days, or a span of 271, the 58th prime. I don't think we had a 58 up here. I don't think there was any 58s. Yeah, I don't see any 58s there. But yeah, the 47-15 thing seems to be the best riddle for today, and that looks good for the Celtics. So, okay, and it would make more sense if the Celtics won today. Looking at the next game too, because then the Bucks would have a good riddle for the next game to win in Boston. So, and if the Bucks did win today, it'd surprise me a bit. But then I'd be thinking Celtics all the way in the next game. So, but I like the Celtics today. Okay, Nuggets at Blazers. Now it's 5-3, right? 53. Blazers finished the regular season on 53 wins. They kept the Nuggets at 53 wins near the end of the year in Portland. Portland 53, Trailblazers 53. Rip City got the 53 connection. So here they go on 5-3. And here's my note here. We got the 47-20 date numerology and the lesser method of 27. The Blazers are 58-31 on the season. Oregon's the 33rd state. Moda equals 33, playing the Moda Center. The Nuggets are 59-32, meaning their next loss is 33. Remember, Nuggets equals 33 as well. The Blazers are 35-9 at home. It's about the only thing I see that could go against them here. May 3rd or 5/3 or 3/5. You know, they stayed on 35 wins in this game. The Nuggets are 21-23. Did I finish? Maybe I forgot to finish writing what I meant to write there. Away. 21-23 away. There, that makes more sense. The Blazers are 113-141 in the playoffs. When you write out 33, it equals 141. You know, we talked about how last game, they lost game 1, 121-113, and then game 2 was on the 121st day of the year, and they could get their 113th playoff win, which they did. I guess I should be looking at our game 3. Game 3's got the 44 connection. Portland 44. Rip City also 44. And then game 3's got the 44 connection for the Boston thing. We just saw the Danny Ainge 44 riddle. Danny Ainge used to play for the Blazers too. He grew up in Oregon. He's from Oregon. Okay. The Nuggets are 66-105 in the playoffs. Picked up that 105th loss in game 2. The Nuggets are 88-104 against the Blazers all time. Now, I do know that the nickname Rip City does have a connection to 89 if they picked up 1-2 in Portland. Caller?
Yeah, Zach, Rob again. Sorry, I forgot one other thing, or a couple other things about Oregon and Danny Ainge. He's got some more ties to Dame Lillard as well. Because if you think about 81 is when Danny Ainge really came into the spotlight because of that victory over Notre Dame.
Right.
Notre Dame. Dame
right.
Lillard.
Right.
Dame Lillard played high school basketball at a Notre Dame school. Then you got the Notre Dame Flyers. They're both out of Oregon. Both played at Portland. So they look to be a bunch of ties with that as well. And then if you look at Danny Ainge's info on basketballreference.com, and it pulls up all of his jerseys, just look at that and how it lines up with Hondo. So,
okay. Did he wear 17 as well?
No, he didn't wear 17, but he had like a 7-9 on there or something like that. And there was one other number he wore. I can't remember. It was 44, 7-9, and something else, I thought. I don't have it in front of me at the moment, but when you start getting on Danny Ainge.
44, 7, 9, and 22. Okay.
Yeah, 22. There we go. So, again, with the Boston connection. But again, tying the Irish, his birthday, Danny Ainge, his birthday, and then Dame Lillard, the Notre Dame. Lillard's got a younger brother. His name is Houston. So there was a bunch of other
Hey,
stuff
you saying that reminds me that they keep showing this commercial in the playoffs for insurance, and it's the Rockets on the couch. I think it's Harden and Chris Paul, and they're watching the Blazers play.
Yeah. So, and then you got the red and black connection again. But you also have that with Houston and their owner. He's a Texas Tech alum.
Okay.
So, and that Houston owner is worth $4.4 billion, which was kind of interesting considering all the news yesterday with Danny Ainge.
Sure.
I just stumbled across that at the same time. But.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Good observations.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, man. Ainge is born in 59, the 17th prime. I see that. All right. So the Nuggets are 88 and 104 against the Blazers all time. And they're 24 and 72 at Portland. And they're 6 and 6 in the playoffs versus the Blazers. The Blazers are 31 and 31 in this round of the playoffs. The Nuggets are 23 and 26 in this round of the playoffs, the semifinals. They could pick up their 27th loss in this round of the playoffs on the lesser 27 date. Terry Stotts, the coach of the Blazers, is 17 and 30 in the playoffs all time. And with the Blazers, he's 16 and 26. That means he could get his 27th loss with the Blazers in the playoffs. It's a little curious. Mike Malone is 5 and 4 in the playoffs, the Nuggets coach. Let's do some birthday measurements here. But it's hard to get a read on these games because there's no really standout statistic with the date numerology for either of these next two games in Portland. The next standout stat is this Game 5 in Denver. Thinking because the Blazers won the last one in Denver, they're going to take this one in Game 5. And there's reason to believe this series could go 7 games too, because Blazers is 43, Colorado's 43. Game 7 would be in Colorado. But another possible thought is the Blazers could sweep in Portland. If they did, I'd have to reevaluate on this game because, well, I mean, it's possible. Just the thought on that is game six, which would be in Portland. It's on a date with 26 numerology, and Denver could get their 26th away loss of the season if they lost all 3 in Portland. For that to happen, they'd have to win this game in Denver, which would break the date numerology pattern here. I didn't update that note from last game, but remember, Denver was a very mediocre team on the road this year. They were a good team at home. So I'm leaning Portland mostly because of the 5-3 thing, 5-3, big old Portland number. But there's no strong date numerology connection. Again, let me measure from these coaches and players here to see how things line up. Terry, November 25th. $159 days after his birthday, or a span of 160. Birthdays and 206 days, or a span of 207. Mike Malone. On September 15th. Okay, his upcoming birthday, 135 days, or a span of 136. And 230 days from the last, or a span of 231. It's also, if you count the span, it's 33 weeks from his last birthday. And I know that his team can get that 33rd loss. Again, Oregon's the 33rd state. Be the Nuggets' 33rd loss, 33 weeks from his birthday if he went down today. Count the span right here. 33 weeks. Okay. Make a note about that. Okay, let's see here. Let's look at Lillard. The thing about Lillard is we're not going to get an alignment more amazing with him for the rest of the season than what we got when he hit that game winner to knock out OKC. You know, that game had the perfect alignment as we looked at before the game happened. Let's see here, July 15th, 292 days, or a span of 293. Then his upcoming birthday, 73 days, or a span of 74. Oregon 74. Was there a 21 thing going on today? We could keep the Nuggets at 21 away wins, 73 the 21st prime. If the Blazers won 2 more at home this season, they'd get to 37, right? Portland's 37. We know that's the big number. Lillard's 37 foot. You know what? Well, I'm going to start looking here ahead at some other games too. So the next game would be, they play in 2 days, right? 71 days, 69 days, 67 days, 64 days. Let's see about the Denver star player. Spell his name Jokic or something? Jokic. No. Denver Jokic. I'm spelling it all wrong. There we go. February 19th. February 19th. Oh, weird. 73 days from his birthday, too. So both star players, 73 days. The 21st prime. And the only 21 I see on the board is the Nuggets staying at 21 away wins. This is like what we said yesterday with Kawhi Leonard. Remember, it was 307 days from his birthday, the 63rd prime. His team stayed at 63. That was total wins for the season. A little bit different, but that's very interesting that both star players are 73 days. Their birthday's 73 days away. Okay. I got to give Portland the edge with that. That's the same stat we had with Kawhi Leonard yesterday, pretty much. Okay, Islanders at Hurricanes. Islanders are 52-30 on the season. Hurricanes are 53-32. Now, keep in mind a monster cyclone hit India today, May 3rd. Cyclone is a hurricane. Hurricanes do have a chance to close out their season today. That is something to consider. But in light of it being May 3rd, 5-3, 53, Carolina's 53, Hurricanes is 53. Islanders can get their 53rd win in Carolina on May 3rd to keep their season alive. The Islanders are 26-15 away on the season. We have the 47 date, right? That's the 15th prime. And we have the 27 date. They could become 27-15 on this date numerology. The only thing I could see going against that is 53, the 16th prime, right? They could get their 16th away loss too and have their season end on 5-3 like 53. The Hurricanes are 28-13 at home. Not a great clue there. The Hurricanes are 66-71 in the playoffs. The next win is 67, hockey 67, the 19th prime. Something I should do real quick. New York Islanders. Let me just put up my my exceptions here. Not missing something. 77. Islanders. Carolina. Hurricanes. Hurricanes. Okay. The only other thing I could say about the Islanders is if they stayed at 26 away wins on the season, again, Islanders is 101, the 26th prime. So there's a little riddle with that, but the date numerology is what I like to go with. The 27th win and staying at 15 losses makes some sense. They swept the first series. They could get swept today, but let's see one more thing here. Hold on. Okay, Hurricanes 66 and 71 in the playoffs. There is actually, hold on. There's a date numerology connection to that, isn't there? We do have this 20 date numerology. 71 is the 20th prime number. Almost overlooked that. 20 date, 71, the 20th prime. Okay, so there's a little reason to believe they could stay on 71 losses. The Islanders are 148 and 123 in the playoffs. Remember, it's the 123rd day of the year. And I'm actually thinking of one other thing now, too. 149, the 35th prime. A third or 3-5, it can be written, kind of like 35. The Hurricanes are 76, 63, and 9 against the Islanders. New York Islanders is 77. So that next win, they advance. Doesn't have to be today. Hurricanes are 36, 33, and 5 at home against the Islanders. That means the next win is 37. Carolina's 37. New York is 33. If they won today, the record would make a bit of sense, 37-33. They are 3-0 in the playoffs against the Islanders. Barry Trotz is 4-3 in the playoffs with the Islanders. That means he could become 5-3, on May 3rd. He's 59 and 61 for his career. Islanders 61, Hurricanes 62. That's why we had Carolina pegged to probably win this series, him getting that 62nd loss. His upcoming birthday's in 73 days or a span of 74. He has the same birthday as Damian Lillard. And what do we know about 73, right? Carolina's 73. Hurricanes at 73. It's a little bit iffy. The Carolina coach is 7-3 in the playoffs. So is the team this year. The coach, nothing was really screaming out about his birthday to me. Hold on. Let me do something, though, I should have thought of. Carolina Hurricanes coach. Brendan Moore. Does his name equal 71? His name does equal 71. And what was it again about the 71? If the Hurricanes won today, they'd stay at 71 losses. That means the next game is going to be – the next game is going to be 71 days from his birthday. Okay. All right. The Islanders goalie is 4-3 this year in the playoffs. That means he could become 5-3 on May 3rd. Islanders goalie is 29-16 for the season. 53, the 16th prime, if he won today. The Islanders goalie, he's at 101 career wins. Remember, Islanders is 101. 101st Stanley Cup. His upcoming birthday's in 82 days. And the coach's name is 82. What is it? Hurricanes is also 82. The Islanders goalie's last birthday was 283 days ago, the 61st prime. Islanders is also 61. Remember, Barry Trotz is at 61 losses right now in the playoffs. The Hurricanes goalie, there's a conflict between the websites for who's starting. Three websites have this goalie that I looked at, the same guy who started last game. One website has their primary goalie, so keep an eye on who actually starts, but based on 3 out of the 4 websites said this guy, I did his numbers. He's 2-0 this year, 2-1 for his career. He's 22-11 on the season. Keep in mind Carolina equals 37 as well. That's the 12th prime. He could get his 12th loss. Hurricanes goalie's 84 and 83 for his career. His upcoming birthday's in 20 days. We have the 20-date numerology. Also a span of 21, 73, the 21st prime. We know that, right? Carolina and Hurricanes. So both teams could be at 53 wins today. That's the big stat. And it's May 3rd. It's the big number with the Carolina and the Hurricanes. They can close out their season today, or both teams can be at 53 wins. And if the Islanders lost, they would stay at 123 playoff losses on the 123rd day of the year. If the Islanders could extend the series. That would give the Hurricanes their 33rd loss of the season and take it back to New York 33. So the numbers upcoming for the series, there's nothing that really screams out about these numbers. So it's tough too. That's a tough one. But the question becomes, you know, is the 53 all about the Hurricanes sweeping the coach who won the championship last year? Or is it about the Islanders living to see one more day? So, again, that Islanders record would make a bit of sense with a win today based on the date numerology. 27th win on a lesser 27 date and staying at 15 losses on the 47 date. So something else we could think about real quick here is what record actually might make sense for the next round. Yeah, we're not sure though. I'm torn on this Boston-Columbus series. That sinking La Nina though is not. That doesn't seem to be a good sign for Columbus, but. Caller?
Yeah, hi, Zach. If you look up that cyclone, it was called Cyclone Fanny.
Right.
And Cyclone Fanny equals 53.
Right, yep, it sure does.
That bodes well for the Islanders.
Yeah, I actually made a video on that last night, and it made landfall on May 3rd as well. So okay, just your reasoning on why you think that's better for the Islanders. Is it because you think they'll pick up their 53rd win?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Islanders do have a lot going with the date numerology today. They got more than the Hurricanes, that's for sure. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, it's the name of the cyclone and when the cyclone landed.
Okay. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I just want to climb in with that.
Okay, and for the record, India equals 35. The other way the date can be written, that made landfall on India. And the Islanders could get their 149th playoff win today, the 35th prime. So,
yeah, I'm definitely leaning that way.
Okay. All right. I appreciate the feedback.
All right, thanks, Zach.
Yeah, welcome.
Bye.
Yep. Okay, so the best thing for the Hurricanes in the date numerology is staying at 71 losses. 71, the 20th prime. We have a 20 date. We saw the coach's name, Rod Brindamore, equals 71. But, I do got to say that the Islanders' date numerology is better. 27, 15 makes sense. The 149th playoff win makes sense. Evening the series at 5-3 makes sense. It's just, there's just another part of me that goes, well, it doesn't always follow the date numerology. Sometimes it's another riddle. Sometimes it's, being, like you could understand if we're wrong about the Islanders winning today in the Hurricanes one, you'd say, well, that's what it was about. It was about the Hurricanes advancing to the next round on 5-3. So that's just the one concern. I wish there was some 77 connection because the Hurricanes' next win is 77 and New York Islanders is 77. Let me look at what was Rod Brindamore's birthday again? Rod Brindamore. Oh, it's not going to get closer for him. Well, we'll look at how all the money's laying. I'm going to say I'm leaning Islanders to keep it alive just because the date numerology is better that way, and I pretty much live and die by the date numerology. But, again, just the one thing is, man, could they close it out on 5-3? Okay, Stars and Blues. So we got to – let me get the NHL up here first of all. Okay. Close that. All right. So the nice thing about the Islanders is you can take them to cover today. They are the underdog away. So if they lost by a goal, you could still win the bet. I think that would have to be my bet for this game. Islanders to cover. Stars and Blues. St. Louis a big favorite, and I'm thinking the Blues are going to get it done today. And again, we talked about how the Stars, they're from Dallas. It would make sense for their season to finish on 49 wins. They're at 49 right now. Their coach is 49 years old. Blues is also 49, so you have an overlap with this number. I'm thinking the Blues are probably going to win the next two games and close it out 4-2. Again, Missouri's 42. It's their 42nd year in the playoffs. They won the first series 4-2. So do remember, though, in the first series against Winnipeg, they struggled at home. They lost their first two games at home. So anyway, the Blues are 51-32 on the season. The Stars are 49-36. Notice the Blues are 26-18 at home. That means they can get their 27th win today on the 27 date. Dallas Stars equals 27. Good team to get the 27th win against. Very likely will be the last home game in this series for the Blues. One thing that goes for the Stars today is they're at 20 away losses. Again, today has the 20-date numerology. I should have wrote that up here. The Blues are 170-205 in the playoffs. The Stars are at 169 playoff wins. Remember, Dallas equals 13. 169 has a square root of 13. They got that 169th win in Dallas. 167 has a square root of 39. St. Louis Blues equals 39. The Blues are 173, 152, and 43 against the Stars. The Blues are 107, 57, and 21 at home against the Stars all time. One thing that does stand out there is that their next loss would be number 58. Stars equals 58. Doesn't have to come today. Could be a future game on a 58-date numerology. This is a big one right here to me. The Blues are 38 and 39 in the playoffs. That's against Dallas. If they win today, they even it up 39-39. St. Louis Blues 39. So that makes some sense to me. The Dallas coach is 6-4 in the playoffs. He's 49 and 36 for his career. Can staying at that 49 would make some sense. Now, one thing I did notice for the Dallas coach that his upcoming birthday is in 58 days, and Stars does equal 58. Now, that's probably the best riddle there for the Stars, is to give the Blues their 58th loss at home. That is a little bit interesting. The Blues coach is 9-8 in the playoffs and 6-4 with the Blues. His last birthday was 137 days ago, the 33rd prime, span of 138. The Dallas goalie, he's 6-4 in these playoffs, 27-17 all time. He's 33 and 19 for the season. He could get his 20th loss, 20-date numerology. The Dallas goalie could get the 20th loss of the season on the 20-date. And it's also a 27-date. He could stay at 27 wins. The Blues goalie 6-4. He's 30 and 9 for the season. Wasn't really anything jumping out with his birthday. Today's date, in light of it having the 47-date numerology, St. Louis does equal 47. And then again, that next game is on a 49-date numerology. If Dallas loses today, they stay at 49 wins. The game's back in Dallas, and they could get closed out on 49 wins on that date. So that seems like the most likely scenario to me. Again, Missouri equals 42. It's their 42nd year in the playoffs. They won the first round of the playoffs 4-2 over the higher seed Winnipeg. So I'm thinking this 4-2 theme is a good shot for the Blues here in this series as well. And just for today's game, they got a little bit better date numerology, getting the 27th win on the 27 date. The Stars, the one riddle for them, again, is staying at 20 away losses on the 20 date. But when you're already on the number, it's never as consistent. So, I mean, the Stars do have a chance. If you're feeling the Stars to cover, it's possible they could. It would be the better payout, but it just seems to me the riddle's better here for the Blues. Evening it up at 39-39 in the playoffs is symbolic. St. Louis Blues 39. And well, I do see something here that could go in the Stars' favor. It doesn't go with the date really, but the Blues are 173 and 152 and 43 against the Stars. If they lost today, they'd stay at 173. That's the 40th prime. And that means Dallas would get their 40th win in the playoffs. But again, I like Dallas staying at the 49 wins on the season. So, and again, that next game's on a 49 date back in Dallas. The Dallas coach is 49 years old. This is the other good stat for the Dallas, if they had a chance today, that it's just his upcoming birthday's in 58 days. The Blues could get their 58th home loss. But I'm still digging the Dallas 49 thing more. So I'd probably just let this one go just because the Blues aren't a great payout. I do expect them to win. And taking the Dallas to cover, I mean, it's a risk. It could happen. There's a lot of one-goal games in the NHL. You know, cover picks do hit a lot. But assuming they're going to lose, it's just I personally I would just stay away from this game and work with the assumption the Blues win. And if the Blues do win, I imagine Dallas would probably be a favorite in Game 5, and then you could take the Blues to cover or just to win outright. And I think that will set up the Blues narrative nice to win Game 5 in Dallas. Or no, excuse me, Game 6. Game 6, misspeaking there. Let me also just write out Game 4 and Game 5 again, just in case there's any numbers. So Game 4 is the first hockey game, Carolina, New York. Game 5. Game 5 did have that 40 connection. Well, maybe Dallas, maybe they got a little chance. I don't know. I'm still thinking they stay at 49, but I do need to make a note about that here. Game 5 does equal 40. So if this series did go to Game 7, it would be in St. Louis. St. Louis does have that 43 connection, but again, I really like Dallas finishing their season on 49 wins. So if they won tonight, that would be off. But just looking at the next game, again, 49 date numerology in Dallas, 49-year-old coach. Blues is 49 as well, the overlap number. So anticipate the Blues win tonight. If they do, I'm pretty sure they'll close it out in the next game. Tonight, a lot more lines up with the Islanders. The one riddle for Carolina is just to finish them off on the 53 date because Carolina's 53 and Hurricanes is 53, but the Islanders definitely have more date numerology riddles going in their favor. And then in the NBA, I'm going to put out a review video, but just for people who got here late, the real big number in the Bucks-Celtics game is 47 and 15, 47 date numerology. It's 47 days after Danny Ainge's birthday, who just had a heart attack. Make that note here. But the 47 and 15, they stand out because the Bucks could get their 15th away loss of the season, and they could stay at 15 wins against the Celtics in the playoffs. So that's standing out. And if the Bucks lost tonight, they'd be in good shape for the next game in Boston to split because they'd be going for their 30th away win on a date with a 30 connection. And what was it about the 23-2? Oh, yeah, the Bucks coach could get his 23rd playoff win also on that date with the 23 numerology. So that's that. And then the Nuggets and Blazers game, there wasn't a lot to go off of with the date numerology other than it's May 3rd, 5-3. We saw the Blazers and the Nuggets do the 53 thing in the regular season. The Blazers kept the Nuggets at 53 regular season wins in their last game in Portland before they went on to win their 54th game. Portland equals 53, Trailblazers 53, Rip City 53. We predicted the Blazers would finish the season with 53 wins. They did. So the 53, I think that the fact the game's on May 3rd, the first game in Portland in this series, that's probably a good sign for them. The Blazers were a good home team this year. The Nuggets were a very mediocre away team. And the other thing we looked at today is that the game was 73 days from Lillard's birthday and 73 days from Jokic's birthday, the star players for both teams. And how did the 21 factor again? How did that 21 factor? The Nuggets could stay at 21 away wins, 73 the 21st prime. The biggest scare for me about the Blazers today is staying at 35 home wins on May 3rd, a date that can be written 3/5 or 5/3. But this 73-21 thing, using the same logic we used yesterday with Kawhi Leonard, the game being 307 days from his birthday, the 63rd prime, and the Raptors staying at 63 wins, I'm going to lead with that thought. So I'm thinking both home teams in the NBA got a good shot to get it done today. And if one of them doesn't, it's looking like this series. Well, I'm a little bit okay. I'm thinking the Bucks and Celtics are going to split in Boston, and I'm thinking that series goes Game 7. The Nuggets and Blazers same series could go Game 7 as well. It's a little bit harder to tell what these teams are going to do. If the Blazers win today, they do have a chance to sweep in Portland. So we'll have to evaluate the next game, see if we can find the golden nugget. But I'm thinking today both home teams got a little bit better riddle. And with regards to Danny Ainge lining up with things, Danny Ainge did play for the Blazers and the Celtics. Danny Ainge is from Oregon. So just another thought there. Let's also look at both home teams are barely favorites today. Let's also look at the pregame real quick and see how the money's stacking, see how that goes with the thoughts we're having here. Okay, so Bucks, Celtics. Ooh, more money on the Bucks, huh? This is interesting, though. Why is there two things today? Here's more money on the Celtics. What's going on here? Oh, it's with, okay, the favorites, I see. Okay, so it's actually pretty even. Nuggets and Trailblazers. Okay. And a little bit more on the Blazers. So, again, pregame, you guys can check on this as it gets closer to game time. A little bit more on the Blazers. A lot more money bet on the other game. A lot more people live on the East Coast. Okay, so not a great discrepancy in either game. Islanders, Carolina, 2/3 of the money, but not hardly anything bet. 2/3 of the money on Carolina. Okay, so if the Islanders win, okay, let's see. Dallas and St. Louis. Okay. 60% on St. Louis, a little bit more even there, but not a lot of money bet. So yeah, that it's not, we don't have anything that's super lopsided today, at least not yet. You can check on it later. So to me, it looks like the home team's got a little bit better riddles. The 47-15 thing going on with the Celtics, the Blazers in that number 53 on May 3rd. And then in NHL, I like how they get the 74 right there. All right, let's see. Islanders got the better date numerology. So Islanders to cover in that one. Only scare is the riddle for the Hurricanes to close it out on 5-3. Carolina 53, Hurricanes 53. But Islanders got the much better date numerology riddle. So I got to ride with that despite the concern. Stars and Blues. I would wait and see on this game just because the Stars got a couple riddles on the board, but not enough to make me believe in them. Blues don't pay anything. If Blues do win tonight, I'd ride that assumption that they are going to finish the Stars off, keeping the Stars at 49 wins on the season because Dallas is 49, Blues is 49. The next game's in Dallas on a 49-date numerology. So we'll leave it there. I'm going to be back. I'm going to upload the review video and all the notes. And then 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 Eastern, we're going to do the Kentucky Derby breakdown. And we'll do that in a live stream. And depending on how long it is, I might very well put out a review video after that just to simplify it. Or maybe I'll just leave some clear notes below in case you can't watch the live stream and you just want to come before the race and collect the information. So 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 Eastern. Remember, I'm on the West Coast. So good luck, everybody. Look for the review video and then look for the live stream later. Until next time, Truth Seeker.